In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can change the skin tone of our characters from light all the way through to dark, even with a few out of this world examples, without getting involved in the messy business of changing textures. Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Rocco. I hope you're doing well. Over here we do Daz3D tutorial videos to help you to get the most out of your own renders. So, why would we want to change the skin tone of our models? It's a good question. As you look over here into the viewport, you can see we've got a model in place in the studio, and the skin tone seems to be perfectly fine. It's just the natural that comes with this particular model. So why would we want to change that? Well, it comes down to a few reasons really, but mainly it's about getting the scene and the model to actually complement each other a little bit better when we are working with them. For instance, if the lighting in your scene is on the darker side, then your model's natural skin tone might be a little too deep for the details to show clearly. So lighting it up just a touch helps it to stand out a little bit more. And likewise, the opposite of that, if you're in a bright scene or you're under strong white light, then slightly darkening the skin tone can prevent it from looking washed out, and you can add a little bit of depth and contrast in there. Another reason, and this is something that I used to suffer from big time back in the day, is that we want to try and also help the skin tone work better with the hair colour that we're using. So for instance, if we're using a blonde or a very light hair, it doesn't necessarily always work with a darker skin. In our minds, we always think of blonde hair with fair skin. So by lightening the skin slightly, we can actually create a little bit more balance between the hair colour and the skin colour. As you can see on screen here, it won't work with every blonde hair, but we can actually get a little bit of an improvement if we just lower the skin colour down a little bit, and the two of them will actually complement each other. And so to adjust the skin tone of our model, we need to dive back into the surface settings. If you remember, it was the last video I did where we changed and played around with the skin highlights. Well, this time, same place, same area. So we need to click on our model up at the top, and then down here we need to come down to our surface tab. We need to find our model. There she is, Genesis 8 female, and we need to expand that out. And then I'm just going to select skin here so that we select all the skin textures on her body. And then what we need to do is we just need to come down to this little filter box, and we just put in tran, so we get this translucency details come out right here. Now what this translucency slider does is, not surprisingly, it changes the translucency of the particular texture that we're working on, or all four in this particular instance. The higher the number, the more translucent the skin is, so therefore it will absorb more light. The lower this number is, the less translucent the skin is, and the more light it will reflect. So the higher the number, more absorption, therefore the skin will be darker. Lower number, less absorption, the skin therefore will be lighter because more light will get reflected. Now by changing this number, you're never going to turn a white skin into a black skin or a black skin into a white skin. You're probably better off using a different texture set for that. You might get something close, but it'll look a little bit funny and a little bit weird in places. So don't be thinking you're going to be changing the entire tone of the skin from one to another. But we can certainly make adjustments up and down the scale to either lighten the skin tone or darken the skin tone just by changing this slider. So for instance, if we were to change this slider and put it up to 0.95, what it means is that the skin is more translucent, so therefore it will absorb more light. Just by changing that to 95, you will see that the skin tone of the model has got darker because she's absorbing more light. If we go the other way and we come down and we say 0.55, the skin is now less translucent and therefore reflecting more light outwards, and so therefore the skin looks paler. Now for this particular model, it was set at 0.75, which is what the artist who created the textures and everything decided that that's probably the best. And so your default number here might be different depending on what model that you're using. But by sliding up and down that scale, we can change the skin tone from darker to light, from lighter to darker, just by moving that number up and down that scale. If you go to the far extremes, whether it's really low, you might end up with really, really milky, weird looking skin. I mean, let's give it a try, shall we? 0.05. Let's go really low and see what we get. A really ghost-like figure, which, you know, maybe isn't usable. Maybe you could find some use for it, who knows. But maybe it's a bit too pale and a bit too milky white there. But if we went up the other way and go, let's say, the full one, maybe passable as a black skin, but you'd probably be better off just using a correct texture for that, in truth. So yeah, so that's the default down at 0.75, as I mentioned earlier, for this particular model. Now, as a funky little extra, seems that we're in this area of the surfaces tab. If we come down to this transparency colour, this determines what colour gets bounced back, from the model's skin once light hits it. So if we come down to this colour, for instance, and give it a little green colour there, we can end up with some little alien girl that you see there that maybe she's just been ported straight out of a Star Trek episode or something. But beyond making little aliens, the translucency colour, we can use it to refine the skin tone a little bit, just by experimenting with a few of the different colours and have a play around, and you might get a tone for your character's skin that, you know, fits your scene a little bit better, or maybe fits the hair better, or, you know, anything like that we talked about earlier. So there we are with skin tone then, how to lighten it or darken it to suit your needs, whether that's just making the character's skin in general just more complementary with the rest of the scene that you're in, or like I said, the little trick with the blonde hair that I mentioned earlier. You can make quite a few of them work a little bit better than what maybe they normally do. So there we go. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. If you've got something out of this video, then do the business down below. Give it a like and a share, as that tells YouTube I'm a better YouTuber than what I actually am. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hitting the little notification bell down below, as that helps the channel out big time, and I really, really appreciate those people who do subscribe to me. So that's it. Skin tone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.